After about 3.5 hours of plane delays and 4 hours of just hubbub, I'm finally home. Pretty bad travel day for me, but I am home from the Knoxville Regional Championships. But I came home with something pretty cool, a semifinalist medal because I finished third place at the Knoxville Regional Championships, a back-to-back top four weekend for me. Pretty good 7 8 days, I'd say, honestly. Picking up some dub skis across the board, picking up some points. I don't know, man. A trophy and a medal in a week seems pretty insane. Play Reddy's again. Didn't make too many changes. My thought process with that cape was really good because I expected some people to play Mirror, pick it up. I also expected Lost Box to pick it up a little bit, and I wanted to just have a card that was overall good in a lot of matchups. I thought the Lugia matchup also improves greatly with the cape because you can put it on Regice or one of the Regis when you attack, and you have to force the Archeops to have certain amount of powerfuls to actually knock it out on the turn they want to go into the Archeops. Especially the ice is the ideal target. Helps a lot in Lost Box. Also makes a couple other weird ones good, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it, but I was down to capture. Figured it wouldn't really make a big difference. We kind of just roll with it. Didn't really have time to test. I'm super jet lagged from Australia still. Anyway, all things considered, let's jump into the tournament report. Round one, I hit Tyler. Tyler game one. Um, I pretty much just won the game. Game two, I remember Tyler made a pretty big mistake by not Tempest diving, discarding the stadium, and then he went in with the Zard and passed, and he went Zard passed basically because he didn't discard the stadium, thinking that I would have a fourth one, but I was already down three because one was lost zone, two in the discard. So if he had just discarded it, he would have been able to attack with Zard, and I think he wins the prize race there. But he made a mistake there, giving me a chance to win, which I capitalized on and just was able to win the prize trade. Round two is against Matt Terry, I believe. This was, I wrote everything down actually because I am very, very tired. But I wrote it all down. Round two was Lugia as well. I don't really remember too much about this, but Matt didn't really set up great, I believe. In both games, I kind of was able to put myself in a position to just win the game with paths or just early attacks and just damage. Kind of steamrolled him, felt really bad, but the matchup I think is still pretty fair for Reggie's. Round three, I hit Caleb Rogerson, who was playing Lugia as well. This is also where the judge proxy story comes in. If you guys saw my professor's research of the fighting energy. So Caleb, game one, I win by just effectively trading back and forth. Game two, I lose on the trade because Caleb also plays a jammer. And I did not realize that was a thing. He went for the jammer, he grabbed it. Kind of a feels bet. Sorry, game one he opened Pump Google, I pathed, he scooped after his turn one draw. And then game two, we were trading back and forth and he got me with the jammer. And then game three, it was a pretty big back and forth, and I'm counting everything, and I think I said, like, he has to not play, I think, the last vacuum, or something like that. Like, he put an energy, his 15th energy on Dunsparce, and hit me with the Archeops, with a Zard on bench, and I think I counted one Aurora remaining exactly. So I'm thinking if I knock out this Archeops after netting a guy and putting it back down with my path, if he has a way to vacuum, he no longer has a way to accelerate the energy, he can win the game. And I said, that's a lot of cards, I'm going to make him have it. I did all of that with, I think, Amarni in tow, and he conceded. Turns out he didn't play vacuum, so there's no way to bump it. Also, Caleb was, like, shuffling my deck, and he was, like, really nervous, I think, in one of the shuffles, or getting excited in game three because I missed an attack at some point. And that got him excited to the point where he, like, jammed one of my researchers in half. Really unfortunate. I know it's a mistake. I just kept playing with the Judge Proxy for the rest of the day because I thought it was pretty funny, and I kept it. A ton of people offered to replace it throughout the tournament. You guys are awesome, but I feel very terrible accepting a card like that from any of you guys because it's your card, not mine, and I don't know. I'm really bad with accepting, like, presents or gifts or whatever, you know? Like, I'm weird like that, sorry. Sam, round four was against Samuel Liggett. Or Leggett. He's one of my good friends. Sam has not played in a long time, but he used to be an OG player that was really, really good. Like, he was insane back in his heyday, a player I used to look up to a lot. Now he's one of my boys. He has not played too much since 2018 Worlds. He came back, played Mew. He played a very interesting take on Mew, but I knew the list because we worked together the night before. He is one of my friends. But both games was on stream. I pretty much popped off on him both games. And game two, I put on a clinic of what should happen if you lose both Reggies pretty early to the loss zone, but exactly what you should do to make that happen the way you want to make it happen, especially with nets being gone. So check out that stream game if you guys have some time. Round four, I do win, spoiler. I go on to 4-0. Round five, I hit Ryan Prusak. Ryan is playing control, but he's playing Pika control. So I'm playing it around like I think it's Pika control, but I haven't seen a lightning energy yet. I'm just seeing the normal control cards. I'm just really hoping it's not Ice Cube in the back of my mind. And we reach a point in game one where we're both sitting there like he's drawing cards and chorusing, and I am electromagnetic sonaring cards back, so I have Rope Boss when he goes into Pika, because I know he can't net up his whole board. I think 2 nets were gone or something in the discard, so I was just waiting. And then I waited also, and then I was like, well, and then he benched like one more thing, and then I bossed up whatever the speed energy was and took it out every time. And that pretty much, I think, just won me game 1. And then game 2, I did pretty much the same thing. And then I like timely Marnied Ryan twice, putting him in his position where he just couldn't capitalize. So I'm 5-0. Round 6, I hit Edwin. I played against Edwin before. We played in Toronto. Toronto. I lost Edwin there, playing Lugia Mir. And this one, Edwin, switched it up to playing Lost Box Ray. And so Lost Box Ray is... Lost Box Zam, I think, with Kyogre. I'm mixing my Lost Boxes up. Lost Box Zamazenta with Kyogre. And this matchup is one of my better ones because if I don't ever proc the Zam, it's a lot for them to like get 2 Zams up and running. And I think the first game, Edwin had some really bad Lost Zones. I think 2 Metals were in the Lost Zone like very early, which meant everything was a little bit awkward. Every time he crammed me, I had the nets, so I was cooking. There was the really good Marnie where I think I stuck him in game 1, and it just snowballed out of control. And then game 2 was something very similar where like the prize trade never got to a point where he could use Kyogre and win the game off the back of that. So I think Lost Box is one of Reggie's best matchups if I had to put it on paper. So like I really enjoy that matchup a lot. Round 7. So I'm 6-0. I've put myself into day 2. Obviously, I'd like to go with more match points. 6-2-1 is a record I can advance with, but it's not the most ideal. As you can see from here, all of my opponents have like monstrous records, which is, I think, crazy impressive. Round 7 hit Zach, and Zach was playing Gudra. A pretty bad matchup for me, game 1. We go all the way down to the wire, actually, and I'm pretty sure like Zach is not playing Parasol at a certain point, so he goes into like Lone Goo, and then he does like he finds like his exact like retreat into something like Comfy Recycler, which I didn't think that deck played Recycler, to be honest, so that's completely on me. I counted 2 rods, and I was like, maybe they only play 1 more rod, so he's out of energy pretty much. I counted everything. He Recyclers, he gates, and then he Comfies and gets the energy he needs to attack again. Sorry. And then I iced him once again, and he goes, draw, bench a guy, switch, attach, retreat. So he had his last switch as well, I think. Maybe he had a rope left as well, but it was his last switch for sure. And Zach won that. Zach did play 4 Sinnoh, and then game 2, Zach got a DPL by using Greninja under Path to the Peak pretty early on in the set, and his setup was pretty poor. I think I knocked out a Gudra V before he even set it up into a V-Star, or he might have made it a V-Star, but I knocked it out. And then I took a knockout on Comfy, and I don't think he could have prevented me from taking 1 more prize somewhere, so he smartly conceded with time left on the clock to try to win the game. But then game 3, we were so in the infantile stage of setting up when time was called that I think it was like turn 3, and we just like both benched enough Pokemon to indicate that there would be a tie, and we moved on. 6-1, happy to steal tie against Gudra. Round 8, I hit Hector. Hector was playing Flying Pika Lugia, which I didn't know. I thought it was just Lugia at the beginning. And then Hector goes, gets the Pika out. It's a little bit sussy. Game 1, I'm able to take. He never... or he gets the Pika out, but I just kind of chase around it. I never did the rope boss play or rope Serena play. I just kind of killed Luminion, like killed a Lugia, basically, for my 6 prizes. Because his board got really cluttered. It was like double Luminion, Pika, Archeops, like Lugia at one point or something, and like Manaphy. So I was able to do that. And then game 2, Hector basically just swept me. And then game 3, we got to a position where like it was the very end game. I was able to radar back a card I needed to win the following turn, and I counted, and Hector was on 15 or 14 energy, so there was no way he could attack unless he played 17. I actually don't know the numbers, but I assumed 16 or 15 at this point, so he never gets to attack again. So I can sonar back a card and win on the following turn, but time was called in a way that I was turn 3 there, and I think a tie is a tie. You just take the tie and move on. So 6-2, I think I play a little bit faster, concede game 2 a little bit quicker, I win that set, but obviously game 3 could have played out completely differently. Round 9, now we're just playing for brownie points, obviously. Like 6-0-2 is better than 6-2-1 in every scenario. So even 6-1-2 if I lose here. I hit Alex Cole, and Alex game 1 was playing V-Colt. He played a little bit weird game 1. I think he made a little bit of a mistake when he vacuumed my path instead of the cape. And that kind of like threw him off. I think threw his game off for the rest of the day. And then game 2, he had burned all 4 nets or something, and I bossed up his Zapdos to buy myself a turn. And he just conceded instantly. So both games were just very quick. Just a little bit of unfortunate luck on the Vika's part, and I think my luck was pretty good to find the cards that I needed. So I'm 7-0-2, putting myself in a position where I need to win 4 of my 6 games for the next day to put myself into top 8. I hit Ian Robb to start the day. Game 1 is mine. Game 2 is a back and forth that I barely lose. Game 3 is a back and forth that I barely win. Lugia versus Reggie is a very intricate matchup. I can walk you guys through it in a different video one of these days. Then I hit Connor. Connor's not playing Dunsparce or Menifee, so it should be very easy for me. Game 1, I brick completely and lose in like 2 minutes. Game 2, he bricks and loses completely in like 2 minutes. And then Game 3, I don't attack and I lose the game. So our set took like 10 minutes total probably. But I was pretty frustrated that my deck just stopped working in games 1 and 3. And that will set the tone for the rest of the day. So now I am 8-1-2. And then I hit Charlie Kerr, who is playing Reggie's, and Charlie is also smart enough to put in the cape. He makes the call, cutting the rope over the capture. Our game 1, I got the first. He almost gets a turn 1 attack on me with like Drago, which is crazy, going second. And I'm really scared if that happens. I just lose, right? And then, but I get the attack going, on my turn because I was able to find the energy off the Lotto, got the attack, and then he went into an Aleki, made a really weird play, attacking Aleki. I killed the Aleki, netted up a guy. He did the same thing again. I killed an Aleki, netted up a guy. I missed an attack for a turn, but I still was able to outrace him in the end. Game 2, he missed attack till like turn 4, but I got my attack on turn 3, or maybe turn 4 and 5. Like we both like just did not do anything for a couple turns, because our hands were just clogged. So we would just like drag over one pass, like kind of thing. Or like cape Dragos in the active, which was pretty funny. But I got the first attack again in game 2, which means it spells doom for Charlie. And yeah, I was able to take that in the Reggie mirror, the Reggie battle. 9-1-2, go up against Jacob Stillwell. Both games, I think, were pretty decided by my path to the peak. Early, Jacob could not really bounce them either game. I think game 1, actually, Jacob was able to bounce it, but he had a Stoutland and a Lugia, as well as double Archeops, Pumpkaboo, on the board. And so I sniped the Dunsparce, one-shot the Stoutland, one-shot the Lugia, and then I just was able to win the prize race that way. And then game 2, he just full bricked under path and I won. So now I am winning in. I have 2 chances. Round 14, I hit Piper. Is where I played pretty bad, and I was really frustrated with myself, actually. Game 1, I had the Infinite Lock set up, so we go to a 0-0 tie with the Battle Like E Cape combo into her Ice Cube. But I forgot about Crabominable. So I came down to like a 2-card deck and had like, I don't know, like 18, 19 cards in hand. And I just forgot the Crab Mills too. So that was sick. I was pretty unfortunate. I definitely forgot. And then game 2, Piper made a really weird play at the end of the game. I'm at 2 prizes. She started milling me with Crab, and when I was at 4 and she was at 6, I think, or 5. And her logic was that I was out of rods, or I had 1 rod left, and so if she hits it organically or hits other Reggies, she could just win the game that way by hunting the other one with City. And I couldn't Marnie her, which kind of sucked. I just couldn't find Marnie. So I killed the Crab, and then she goes up with the Palkia and goes Lost City, knocks out my active Drago, which was really good, I think, on her part to take one of my draw out, but I had a gift, so I filled my hand, and I had the Aleki Choice Belt. One shot with the capture to find the Drago. The really unfortunate part was my last 2 prizes were Heavy Ball Drago, so that sucked. I thought about even battle Alekiing back the Heavy Ball if it was in my discard, but it wasn't. I had organically prized Heavy Ball Dragos, and they were my last 2. So that was sick. Pretty unfortunate. I was really frustrated with myself after that loss because I played that very poorly, I felt like. And I couldn't punish Piper for her mistakes in game 2. And then round 15, I had Christian Moreno, who was playing Vikavolt. Pretty good matchup for me, actually. Both games, I pretty much found my Auroras off the rip. Christian couldn't really do anything to stop me. And both games, I was able to just take it. I think I took 2 Vikavolts up both games and put myself in a position where it was like, you have to go into a Raikou now. And if you go into the Raikou, I just have my items again, and you'll lose the game. Top 8 was against Grand Shen. You guys can watch that game. All 3 games I drew really, really badly. Game 1, he made a mistake, I think, by benching the other Duraludon, but we talked about it, where I went 40-40. But he said that if he doesn't do that, then he doesn't get a way to power it up because his Raihan was gone, so I'm going to hit into the active. He's got a Hyper Potion it, meaning he needs to attach to it to knock me out. And if he does that, then he misses an attachment on the bench. If he doesn't, I get a knockout on the active, and then he has an attack with the bench. And then he has to attach twice, so it's like either way, he's in a rock or a hard place here. And And so game 1 I ended up winning. Game 2 I absolutely got rolled. I made like the biggest brain fart ever. Like I netted up the rock to just be like, okay, I picked the rock. If you lost on this, I could lose the game. I put it back down. I just like straight up put it back down. And I was like, why did I do that? Like in my mind, I'm just thinking, why did I do that? So that was sick. I definitely messed up that pretty badly. And then the final game, I pretty much drew everything I needed in the sequence I needed. And Grant was also like really out of resources early, so I was able to kind of punish that and won the game. Top 4, got a medal. That's sick. Andrew Hedrick, Andu. Game 1, I roll Andu. He goes 1 Archeops. I was able to boss it pretty early. Pretty nice. Game 2, he also goes 1 Archeops, but I poke him for 40, but his board is disgusting. It's like Dunsparce, Manaphy, or sorry, Dunsparce, Pumpkaboot, double Archeops, like Luminian or something. Or Zard. No, it's Evital. He mentioned Evital. So I was going to go 120 Lugia, 40-40 the Pumpkaboo, and Dunny. And then do that again and basically take 4 in 1 turn. And then I cannot lose the game, or yeah, from there. Because even though he'll have taken 3 at this point, I just can one-shot. But very unfortunately for me, I did not attack for the rest of the game. I just missed attacks, either Reggies or Energies or whatever, you know. And then game 3 was I research, pass, research, pass, research, pass. Marnie, concede. So I didn't attack in my first 4 turns, and I had the energies in the discard that I needed. I just simply was missing 1 Reggie every single time, and it was pretty painful to watch for everyone who did. But my luck ran out at the very end. My deck completely ran full out of steam. And Andu, congratulations for winning the event. Thank you guys for watching. A lot of people came up this weekend. It was very cool to see the congratulations. I'm so glad I could have done awesome for you guys. And sorry I'm low energy. It's been a long day. But I'll catch you guys in Vancouver is my next event. So thank you. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Peace out.